Hi, everybody. I'm Willem.
And I'm Tim.
And this is Hear Me Out Pitch. Oh, man, it is late tonight because somebody had work and had to feed his wife.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers, it was me.
Responsibilities.
I don't.
Kid I was with today at work, great kid, love him to death. His dad was supposed to pick him up at 6. His dad showed up at 6:30. I couldn't start my notes until I couldn't finish my notes until they were gone. So I had to wait until 6:30 before I could actually start. Yeah. And then my wife wanted Zaxby's, which is a half-hour drive. So I went and did the half-hour drive.
And we may have not had Zaxby's together because he called and said, "Do you want to try Zaxby's?" And I was like, "Sure." Speaking of which, this episode is brought to you. I'm just kidding.
I wish. Sponsor us,
Please. Oh. Oh, man. It has been a day, and by the time this probably gets posted, TikTok will be gone. And it's funny because I was telling Tim, I'm kind of torn. I've been going through the memories, and yes, I was an avid TikTok guy. Loved it, thought it was funny. Many of the ideas for our episodes came because of this, and actually the little one shot that we're doing tonight is inspired by one video that I watched, so it kind of goes with it. So RIP TikTok, gonna miss it. And everyone's like, "Oh, but we moved on from Vine. I think we'll be fine."
Did we really?
No, we didn't. Bring it back.
I still can't sit anywhere, Megan.
Because I have hemorrhoids.
That is my favorite one.
Road working.
Said it before.
Say it again. Hemorrhoids.
Anyway, I heard about the TikTok thing that it's actually happening. 'Cause people have been threatening
for
the last couple years.
COVID.
Yeah. But it's actually happening, and I had TikTok downloaded for all of 15 minutes. Zach sent me a video and was like, "You have to watch this. I don't care if you download TikTok to do it. You have to watch this." So I did, and it was just him calling me short. So I'm
gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. But it's just another thing that we use to just watch and waste time, so I'm not judging. But most likely, if you're listening or watching this, you're wasting time. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, though, you're doing something productive. So,
I mean, YouTube Shorts is gonna blow up.
Yeah, and it kind of already has. So, hopefully, if you came here from a YouTube short, thanks, YouTube Shorts. But
Facebook Reels will do the same thing,
and Instagram. I'm not too worried. No,
I think it's a good thing that it's going. Personally.
Ooh, hot takes with Tim.
It's brain rot. That's all it is. It's a waste of everybody's time.
Everything.
I tell you a story today. I procrastinated. I had work stuff to do that I needed to get done at home before I went in today, and I spent an hour and a half watching YouTube Shorts instead of starting. And by the time I'd started, I was scrambling to get out the door after I'd finished my work, so I could actually go into the clinic.
The word of the day is procrastination. And ADHD. So,
yeah.
We're going to move on from all that. But this episode, though, kind of, I'm not going to say it's a farewell to TikTok, but to me, I kind of want to think of it as one because it kind of is, in a way, to me at least. So, I know you're happy to get rid of it. I'm indifferent, but I am sad for all the...
I'm indifferent. I mean, yeah. I didn't use it.
Yeah.
I just think it's probably a good thing that it's going.
We will see what happens.
We'll see.
So this idea that I was telling Tim about, all it is it was a video edit, and I'll try to tag a video somehow of the clip. But all it is and I've never played Elden Ring, but all it is the character who is so adamantly ready to take revenge on the Dragon Bale, one of the bosses in the game. And I just love the idea of, and it's just this epic like guitar riff. It's just he's just proclaiming he's gonna get his revenge.
Don't they use a Sabaton song as the background music for it?
One of the clips I sent to you probably was. I'll actually send you the one that I saved. So, but it's so really quick. The quick shot was more of a short story, and just like one of those 15-minute just shorts that you'd get, like one of those shorts that just hits home to you, that you see on YouTube and you watch it and you go, I need 10 series.
You know how many
backstory?
You know how many ideas I've written down for crap that I've thrown at you in D&D that I've gotten from YouTube Shorts?
Yeah,
a lot. There's one that's coming up that you are gonna hate. I think everybody's gonna be disgusted by it, but you're gonna hate it.
Why?
A little especially, maybe.
Why?
Necromancy.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, I got that idea from a YouTube.
I hate necromancy. I am debating though. I think
it'd be hilarious if your next character was a necromancer.
I've been debating. I'll be honest. Make him a descendant of Zoltar, to be ironic. So
you could.
Will be funny. We'll see what happens. Ooh, gross. Anyway, and for anyone that says Jesus was a necromancer, I will fight you in the comments.
No, he was a cleric. It's different.
Very different.
It's different.
It's healing. Lazarus wasn't a zombie, but that would make a good horror movie. Anyway.
I mean...
Anyway, so the quick one shot, and this is, I'll just paint the scene for everybody for the beginning. All it is, we would hear immense yelling, and I'm talking like this is going to be a violent crash down a mountain, like Kronk falling down the stairs in Emperor's New Groove, like Tai Lung falling down the stairs. Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
One of those scenes, but we feel it. We feel every crunch. We see this character crack into something. We hear bones snap, and so screen goes black, crunch. Screen goes black, fall. Screen goes black. And then it flashes to him hitting another thing, and he's at the bottom of the mountain, broken, defeated, and he gets up and goes right back up. And the end of the short film would be, and if we're taking it from the inspiration of Bale, it would just be our lonely hero facing the giant dragon. I've honestly been imagining Tiamat from D&D, something along that lines. I did base it off of my own character. So
if you're curious, he's a dragonborn. I have a house rule that if you kill a dragon with a breath weapon, you gain the ability to choose between your original and that new breath weapon.
Yep.
He collected all of them.
I collected all 5.
As of last Saturday, he collected all 5.
I was really hoping he would turn to a dragon, but we'll see.
We'll see.
That might be... Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking of, and the idea would just be, again, guys, this is going to be like a 30-minute episode, and we're already at 10 minutes, maybe 40. But all I'm thinking is how would this character like reknit himself? What would he do to what would the flashbacks he'd be seeing? Like, what are things that would make the top of the journey so meaningful? This is kind of inspired by this video, as well as, I've said his name many times, of Sisyphus continuously rolling the boulder up the hill, because whether we like to admit it or not, life, regardless for everyone, is just Sisyphus' journey. We're going to be constantly rolling a boulder up the hill. Life is mundane at times. So I just want to have the lesson of this story to be overcome, adapt, and reach the top of the mountain and face everything head on. A little bit like Bear Grylls, you know? Improvise, adapt, overcome.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Did I say that?
No.
No, I've been doing good. We've been doing good, but you ruined it. You ruined it. So, but yeah, those are kind of my, that's kind of my intention of this short. It wouldn't be, he would be an unknown hero. He'd be unknown. Just one of those simple, unnamed things. So I don't know. What are your kind of first thoughts with that information?
Here's what I'm immediately imagining. I'm imagining, it's like a 15-minute video, maybe even 10 minutes, just really short. Our first minute is him falling down the mountain and then collecting himself, and we'll have credits in between. I'm imagining credits in between in those blackouts.
Yes.
So like he hits blackout. So and so did this, and this, right? He hit something, blackout, same thing, and it just that's our credits. That would be our credits.
And then the bottom would be so and so, Hear Me Out Pitch Studios presents The Climb, and then it shows our hero broken at the bottom of the hill, and you're like, dang. So something like that, and it would be those like very just red stained letters, something across the cover. I'm gonna make this like somehow appearing as we're talking right now. Screen will go black, and then we'll be talking again. Screen will go black, talking again. No, camera, I don't want you to do that. So whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm imagining. And then, he'll gather himself. Maybe he'll pull out a bandage, wrap his arm or leg or something. He'll go and find a sword that's been shattered. He'll pick it up, toss it aside, pull out a new one from some magical backpack. I'm imagining bag of holding style. Like he just pulls it out of a bag that
he could find it from a body.
He could,
because there could just be. It'd be cool if when he's discarded, there are hundreds.
That'd be cool. Yeah, maybe
people.
he pulls one pulls one off the ground next to a corpse or something. It's really dark. But he pulls one off the ground, sheaths it, and pulls out a snack, eats something real quick, and then starts hiking up the mountain again.
Ooh, some potion, one of those healing potions. And,
yeah.
And the thing is, we need to. I want to make it gritty, because sometimes we, especially in video games and stories, like they take a potion, and I imagine that some healing potions are like the polyjuice potion. It's not something that's pleasant, and if it's re-knitting your body, it's gonna hurt. And I would love a scene of him drinking it. We see like a bone, and his arm snaps back in place, and he
grunts with pain.
Yeah, grunts with pain. Probably screams a little bit. Re-knits a few things. His face, like his burns, are somewhat
kind of fade a little bit.
Little bit, but
leave some scarring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that. I can imagine, maybe leaning a little more into the D&D, kind of realm of thinking with this.
That's kind of what I really wanted tonight.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that. I'll take inspiration from my not as extensive as I would like it knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons.
He's really not. That's the funny thing, is he's kind of still as. I would say, how many years he got over me? Maybe a good year, 2, 3
of D&D.
Yeah,
I've been playing since I was 7.
Never mind then. He is very experienced. Oh, you were joking?
No,
Now I look foolish.
No, I guess I'm not as experienced as my dad.
Well, your dad is.
Granted, he's double my age, but still. Anyway,
Mr. Godfrey, you look great.
He really does.
Oh, good.
He looks. A lot of people think that he's my older brother.
Ah, actually, okay, he is kind of a baby face.
Yeah, it's the Godfrey curse. It's or blessing.
Poor Tyler. He did not get it.
No, he did.
When he
shaves his beard, he looks the same as he did in high school.
Okay. All right.
It's scary.
So
anyway,
D&D.
I'm imagining, he looks out, and maybe the sword that he finds, that he picks up, is classic. It's a classic D&D weapon. If you've played D&D and you're familiar with it, a flame tongue sword. It's probably the most iconic magic sword in existence, in and outside of D&D. It's just a flaming sword. In D&D, you can use your bonus action to light it on fire, right? Like, it's just the most classic thing. I'm imagining he pulls it out of, maybe he pulls it out of a corpse, and he flicks it, ignites, and then flicks it again. It goes out, and he sheathes it as he nods or something.
He nods to the body, like a respectful,
maybe he takes his broken blade and lays it next to him.
No, perfect. And
or
then
on top of, or if the body's laying face up, lays it across the chest.
Puts his hands
Boromir style.
Yeah. And so definitely though, outfit's
like
completely tarnished and
yes,
ruined. So he's got to look around and
burnt, and maybe he finds a cloak somewhere and takes it, clasps it on, and maybe he pulls a clasp off of his current burning cloak and puts it on this other cloak that's not as burned.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I have an idea. Make this a little more intriguing with the short stories.
Okay.
Every single item which he grabs, this is how our short story will be told. Every item he grabs, we have to see its final moments of its holder. Instead of us getting a backstory of this character, we're going to get a
history of
the people he takes from. That's his curse.
So maybe as he grabs the sword, we see maybe the dragon breathes fire on the sword, and that's what turns it into this weapon. Mm-hmm. It shows that final warrior, it shows him reaching out, and he's extending it bravely, but he dies and he falls down the mountain. And we have to show them also falling down the mountain. Yeah. So we'll see half a dozen people bounce down the mountain. I'm imagining the cartoon style bouncing down the mountain, but it would be a lot more.
It's funny because
it would be a lot more realistic.
Didn't originally. I've fallen down a few, not as intense of what we're imagining, but I've taken a good stumble on pretty crazy hiking trips, and it's not pleasant.
No, it hurts. It hurts.
Poor Tim.
But I will say, I've broken a lot of bones. I've never broken one hiking.
Oh, good. That's not reassuring.
I broke one falling off a bench at a scout camp.
Oh, gosh.
I'm fragile. It's okay. No.
I don't want it to be. I want every single fall to, we joke about Kronk and Poe, but I was never imagining that. I was imagining some terrible. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
It would be a lot more realistic, and we would see this figure fall down, and then we would see a hand reach out and grab the hilt, and that's our main character. And
I think the cloak would try to be something that they were hiding under, like some invisibility one.
So maybe he starts climbing up the mountain,
and he's grabbing.
And so that's at the sword is at the base of the mountain. He uses it to, item order. We'll start with a walking stick. Start with a walking stick at the base of the mountain.
Ooh,
falls down the mountain. He sees just a skeleton holding a walking stick, and he takes it, and the walking stick maybe glows a little bit, and he hits it on the ground, and it starts to glow, giving him some light. Mm-hmm. Uses that to climb up the mountain, and that could be where our backstory vision is. This wizard figure is holding up the staff, calls lightning down, and the dragon just smacks him, and he flies down the mountain. And he just holds on to the staff because it's his only source of warmth and light or something.
So I imagine, we get the staff and it shows him, and he gets a little cold. Gets a little cold because it's not. What kind of dragon we thinking?
I've been thinking almost like a black kind of dragon, but with I use the term loosely, but like frosted tips, but red, like
Okay.
crimson.
So this is a fire-breathing dragon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine so.
All right. So
Our sword, that sword would be the final object he takes, and I think it would be,
all right.
you know, the dragon. It's in the arena, and maybe the original wielder was just incinerated.
It's got to be face down. It's got to be embedded.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Stuck in the rock, like the sword in the stone, or
Excalibur
Master
moment.
Sword. Or
Okay, so he's not going to be cold on this mountain then.
maybe he is. Maybe he starts climbing and he starts to get a little bit cold, and he sees
A cloak.
attached to just a corpse.
And it's a rogue. You just see the rogue trying to sneak around and jump onto the dragon. Oh, it could be his party.
Could be. We could leave that
For the end.
kind of ambiguous, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what if...
kind of a maybe
Yeah.
up to interpretation.
Okay, well then I'm going to leave my final request at the end then for something.
Okay.
So just leave that thought. I like that though. But so a rogue would be the cloak, and it shows the backstory. It shows the rogue try to sneaking up and charging up a dagger or whatever a rogue would do against a dragon, but just jumping up and the dragon's tail
Just
slaps him down the mountain. Gone. All right, and then it shows him kind of bundled up in it. What would be the next thing? Would it be boots? Maybe he scrapes his feet.
I'm kind of thinking, something leg wear. Maybe boots. Boots would work. And
they're made for walking.
They are made for walking.
Mm-hmm. That's just what they'll do.
These would be maybe like a barbarian's footwear.
Man, it's like you're reading my mind, Tim.
There is one pair of boots in D&D that I'm very familiar with, and it's the boots of the Winterlands. Ethan has those. It's the only reason he's able to walk around in the snow without freezing to death. Anyway,
in his fragile state.
I'm imagining something different, and this is a pair of boots that I created years ago that I thought would be so cool. And I call them Storm Warden boots.
Okay.
They essentially, while it's raining and lightning and thunder is everywhere, and you're able to activate the boots and walk on the water, walk on the rain, walk like upward and around, and
so it'll just make steps in the air
out of the water that's falling from the sky. And then I had an ability that you could call lightning. I think it was 3 times a day, something like that, once a day.
You know who would love those boots?
Ethan.
Violet.
Yeah, she would. You're right. She'd use them just to get up and paint.
That's immediately what I thought of.
She'd go up and paint. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so I'm imagining something like that where it's just a pair of boots that maybe he's struggling to get over some boulders. He slips and his footwear, whether it's boots or some shredded pair of shoes or whatever, falls to pieces completely. And he sits down and looks over and he sees another charred skeleton, and the only thing remaining are this pair of kind of bluish gray boots with almost like a lightning bolt etched into the almost into like the seams.
I got you. I'm liking it.
Like the threading of the boots to hold it all together is almost like lightning. That's kind of what I've...
And when he stomps on him, you'll just hear a distant thunder up ahead because it's going to start raining.
Yeah. It starts raining, and he uses that rain to kind of climb upward, using his walking stick to kind of push him certain ways. And then get to the top, and that's where we face the dragon, and he sees... I've been imagining it's just like it's almost like a flat mountaintop where this dragon is just sitting there waiting for him, and he looks over and he sees this kind of lump of skeletons and ash, and sticking out of the stone next to it is this sword hilt, and he reaches for it, pulls it out, ignites the blade in the rain, and faces the dragon, and then cuts to black. That's kind of what I envision.
No, I honestly feel like, and here's just kind of just for anyone out there who's a D&D lover, I think I like the idea of it being his party, because what I imagine is he gets to the top with the staff, the dragon. We don't necessarily need to see. Maybe we get one more cutscene because he gets to the top and he puts down the staff, and because waiting at the top of the mountain, like very similar to that, is sitting just Excalibur. When he puts his hand on it, we get a flashback. It turns out to be his sword, and then we see all of the connecting deaths of his party. So,
I like it.
So what I would want the final scene to be is him kind of standing alone, but then kind of the idea of the four that we talked about kind of standing behind him, because we said a wizard, a rogue,
barbarian.
A barbarian. Oh, I think we should do. So what is this?
I think we could have a soldier, like a warrior, and that's where that sword came from. Maybe this wasn't his.
So what is this person then? What is he?
I imagine a fighter, master of all. We talked about it earlier, and for those of you who don't know, fighter is probably the most versatile class in Dungeons and Dragons. You can do everything from magic to sword fighting to bow and arrow to great axe to
maybe he finds
all of the things.
Maybe he finds the armor and bow off of a ranger's body. I think him having that be his sword would be pretty cool. And the only reason why is I just imagine that the final cut scene. So what would be
maybe not a bow, but I think the armor could work just from some soldier, like maybe he falls, he stumbles a little bit, and you see his armor just kind of fall into pieces. Maybe he sits down and part of his chest plate kind of cracks and falls off. Kind of falls off his shoulder onto his elbow.
Yeah.
And he looks at it and it's like, crap. Takes off his armor and looks over, and he can see the chest plate from his comrade.
So what I want it to look like, though, I want that to be the big reveal at the end of the episode, is it looks like he's accidentally stumbled upon these, or he's actually like kind of looking around for something. Like, I want it to look like I want the audience to think it's an accident that he's finding these, but then we realize that no, he's actually looking for these things. Mm-hmm. Like, he's going up the mountain, and we realize that he's been climbing around the mountain in a very crazy way. It wasn't just some big uphill. It was him. He had to find all of his friend's stuff before he went back going. I promise I'm not in tears. I just have something in my eye from glasses. No, it's just emotional. I'm not crying. You're crying. I'm not crying. Oh, man. The eyeballs are eyeballing me. But I would want it to be his sword. So my question is, what would be the order that this party died? And why did he get knocked down first and not see? How did his sword get stuck in the ground and he still end up down the mountain? That's the final gap.
Maybe his thing was he got grabbed, the dragon just picked him up and threw him, and when he threw him, his sword fell into the ground. Ooh,
maybe when he tried to grab it, he put his sword down and tried to like hold it in place, and then he got let go and flung. So maybe he didn't see what happened to his party. Mm-hmm. But that's when he touches all these things, he gets to learn a little bit. I definitely would want
I like that.
I definitely would want that the last person he gets, so what was it? Was it the armor?
The armor
would be the last one. That would kind of be the final piece. I would want
Maybe
him.
you see a symbol on the chest, on the front of this chest plate.
Yeah.
And it's the same symbol that he's got on his pauldron on his shoulder or
And
something.
maybe when we're cloaking, like not cloaking, when the camera goes around him, we notice that the cloak has the same symbol, the shoes have the same symbol,
The top of the
staff
staff is that
has
symbol.
the symbol. And then I would want him, when he finally gets to the top and sees a sword, he's just bawling.
The sword is the symbol.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And so he's just like, ugh. And then he takes it up, and I want him to keep. Maybe he doesn't. He wouldn't get rid of the wizard staff, would he? He would hold it in one hand.
No, I'm thinking Gandalf style. He holds the staff in one hand and takes the sword. Staff in left hand, holding it up, igniting it or lighting up his way. Takes the sword in his right hand and just ready to go.
All right. Well, now Tim. All right. Scene's over. Whatever. That's where I want it to end. Whatever. But just a little bonus. I'm just curious. Kind of having this. So if anyone is done and you're like, all right, I'm good with that story. I'm happy. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. We'll see y'all later. Bye. I'm just kidding. But now I'm just curious though.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. What would each of these, how would one character like this survive? Or my bonus question is, how much damage do you think the party would have done before they were taken away? And could he do it by himself?
Thinking about it in terms of, rolling initiative, it's an actual fight in D&D. You have to take into account action economy and hit points. My guess is if this is an adult red dragon,
let's say this is the big bad.
The big bad. An adult, maybe an ancient red dragon. Ancient red dragon, I believe, is a challenge rating of 24, might be 23. If you don't understand it, go look it up.
Hopefully this inspires some of you to play D&D.
Yeah, hopefully. Find a group. It's fun. Anyway, in terms of hit points and all of that and action economy and taking into account how much damage a certain character can do in a single round of combat, at that high of a level, you're probably looking at high enough level that you could actually take on an ancient red dragon with decent gear. Everybody's looking at pretty powerful stuff. The wizard probably has 7th or 8th level spells, maybe 9th level spells, which could mean, power word kill or spell that I cast on you 2 sessions ago, the meteor storm.
Oh gosh.
Where deals 40 d6 damage.
So you think it is possible that if this party were to weaken it and there's just one lone guy, and if he's picking up these items and we're able to break the rules and he can attune to them.
Yeah. I imagine he could probably, they've probably done close to 3/4 of the dragon's health. Like the thing would be injured. It would be.
Ooh.
I could see.
I could see the dragon, one eye missing.
I could see the dragon bleeding from one side of his mouth. The eye on the other side is missing or cut out.
We see fingers missing.
We see a couple fingers missing. We see this nice big gash across his chest that maybe has.
He's still got the barbarian's
almost
axe
like
in
radiant, like scorch marks around it. You can see the barbarian's axe stuck in his shoulder.
Ooh. So that would be. So now I want to paint the scene of that. We just see this all we hear as he takes the blade. So I'd want the final really moments to be. He finally gets a scene of what his comrades have done, and he grabs the sword and he pulls it out, but the whole time
it'll probably be memory.
Yeah.
Like everybody, again, this is taking into account action economy and stuff, taking into account rolling initiative, right? That's the big thing for me. Is rolling initiative. Everything happens within 6 seconds. Everybody is doing something.
Yeah.
He'd probably get tossed pretty early just so that he takes damage, or maybe here's what happens. here's what we could paint as our final picture, our final flashback is he goes in with his sword, he's doing damage, he gets smacked aside, takes out that a potion, one of a couple, and downs it, and we see bones click into place, some stuff starts to heal, and then he sees his party get killed, them getting tossed off the side, burned to a crisp, tail slapped, etc. And then he goes up, rushes forward, the dragon grabs him, he stabs the ground, he's ripped away from his blade and is thrown down the mountain, but he just healed. So he's not, whereas the rest of his party just took a crap ton of damage, he's probably got close to 150 hit points.
But the fall
is going to deal close to 100 damage.
Ooh, so that means
right?
when he's checking his pouches, we have to see shattered vials.
He can pull out a couple shattered vials, and maybe the bottle that he does pull out and drink is a broken bottle, but he's able to kind of like cradle it almost and kind of drink out of the broken part.
Oh my gosh, do you think some of the potions that you drink are just broken vials? Like maybe that's why they're not superior, they're not...
Could be.
Or that's probably why... Oh, well, that's why when you drink them, you have to roll, because maybe they're not...
Well, no. So my thinking, my thought process for that, little more context for the rest of you
nerds.
I have another house rule. Just makes potions feel a little bit more epic. You can spend your bonus action to drink the potion, and that allows you to roll like normal. And that's because it's your bonus action. This is not you taking your full time to drink every last drop. So you're rolling, you're spilling some out the sides of your mouth. You're not getting every last drop. When you take your full action, you're taking the entire 6 seconds to drink every last drop and being careful with it. That way you get the maximum.
Yeah.
Feeling.
And we have appreciated that rule very much. More people should do it.
It just makes potions feel a little bit more epic, and it means that I can give less.
Yeah.
I don't have to give as many. I don't have to make them spend nearly as much gold in buying their potions.
It makes us have to be smarter, though.
It does.
Because
they can either make their attacks, they can either deal 110 damage with a single swing, Willem, or
I trust my party to help me.
Or they could, take that time to instead drink a potion and heal 100 hit points if they're drinking the highest level potion.
I will do what I can to help them, and then they can heal me if they are able to. That's my philosophy. Anyway, but all I would... So yeah, I think that would be perfect. I think that makes a great explanation of why he was able to live through that fall.
Yeah.
But all I would want, though, is while he's grabbing it, we're getting the epic montage, he's got the tears going. When he's grabbing the sword, we hear this heavy breathing. And we look, and like, I imagine it like the camera angle's looking at the symbol of the sword and then panning over the sword, and we just see the dragon just kind of injured, staring at him.
Injured, but you can see flames kind of licking out the sides of its mouth.
And the final scene would just be him pulling it out. The wizard staff starts glowing, and then just him holding the 2 weapons, and then goes to black. And that'd be it.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a deeper meaning, there isn't one. This is just for fun.
This is cool. Just... It was originally going to start out, and I do like the idea of, life is a climb. Life, sometimes you have to travel and get over it, but really it's just a fun... This turned into a fun D&D story. I bet you can find a meaning. Find your own. Leave us a comment. But yeah, that's really all I got. Maybe what I'll try to do is maybe tomorrow in our separate places we can type up like a summary of it, a legit summary, and I'll record it and attach it to the end of this video or something, and y'all can listen to that at the end just for funsies, or I'll make it into its own separate thing. I don't know. It seems pretty easy, but like I said, not that big of an episode. It's been 40 minutes.
This is fun.
It's 9 o'clock. I wanted something fast. And I feel like sometimes just doing the fast, simple, short story, I feel like that'd be perfect. Just like the one short from Amazon. I feel like that's something that would be, you don't need to know their names, don't need to know nothing, but it would still, I think that I am glad we turned it to D&D short story, because that to me captures D&D pretty well. So I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's really sad though, but I like it.
I agree.
I don't know. I've really learned to love D&D. So thanks for making me a D&D nerd. So
Of course.
I think my friends, though, I need to tell you this, and I'll include them with it because I don't care. But my friend today at work, he looks over at me, and he's just like, check this out. And we have 3D printers at our office. But he goes, I'm thinking about, should I 3D print this? And it was dice towers. And I'm like, are you trying to tell me you want to start playing D&D? He's like, no. I'm like, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with my care. How about you?
Yeah, me too. I think this was a lot of fun, and I'm trying to think of people that I could get to maybe animate this for us.
I think it was a lot of fun.
Can't
so
think of anybody who.
Well, maybe if we get more clips out there, maybe someone will be cool and contact us someday. So feel free to do that. But I'm happy with it. For anyone who's interested in D&D, find a party, go play.
A lot of fun.
And I had a lot of fun with this. Just keep traveling up that hill and go slay your dragons. It'll be Slay Queen.
Cool. Well, as always, love each other. Be kind. Maybe try to be a little bit more brave than you were today.
Aw.
Nothing else?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll leave you with that. And I guess we will see you later, pitches.
Bye.